Welcome to Football Roundup with your host, Randy Silver. Are you excited? Because I am. The EPL, the best football league in the world, is back this weekend. And we're here for your 5 biggest storylines to preview the new season to get you ready. Let's dive into it. First storyline for you. Can City win the title 4 times in a row? Number 2. Can any other of the big 6 teams dethrone City? Number 3. Who will fight for European spots this season? Number 4. Who will be in a relegation battle? And number 5. New changes for this season. We'll have this timed out in the video for you, and we're going to dive through all this very thorough, so you're ready to go. First games, August 11th, Burnley versus defending champion Manchester City. Burnley's head coach is City legend Vincent Kompany. Helped them win their first title in a long time back in 2011. He's now the coach of Burnley, so this will be very magical for him to be back as a head coach against City. People think he will eventually become the head coach of City, maybe after Pep leaves. You can see the rest of the schedule. The keynote game today, this weekend, Chelsea versus Liverpool, August 13th. That is Sunday. How did the standings turn out for last season? Make sure we're all on the same page as we dive into this season. City came in first, Arsenal second, Man U third, and surprisingly, Newcastle fourth. They're in Champions League spots. 5th, 6th are in Europa League spots, and that's Liverpool and Brighton. And then 7th is Europa Conference League spot, and that is Aston Villa. Relegations 18, 19, and 20. Leicester City, Leeds United, and Southampton did not make it, and they're back in the championship while teams came up, which we'll talk about. Arsenal was winning all of last season until the last 5 to 10 games. They ran the steam, and City took them over to get that 4P, which takes us to article number 1. Can Man City win the EPL 4 titles in a row? You can see the posters from their 3 titles before. The supercomputer says yes. So if you're a betting person, put your money on City based off of an algorithm in the supercomputer. Liverpool will make second. Arsenal will come in third, so they'll drop down one, while Liverpool will move up a couple spots, and Man U will come in fourth, your Champions League teams. Newcastle will finish in 5th, with Chelsea coming back up to 6th, and Tottenham in 7th. The supercomputer thinks Bournemouth, Sheffield United, and Luton Town are going to go down. Sheffield United and Luton just came up. Bournemouth stayed up, and they're going back down, unfortunately. Burnley will get to stay up. Last season was an iconic city for City. It was one for the record books. They won the EPL, they won the FA Cup, and they won the Champions League. They got the treble. Pep's second treble ever. He did one with Barcelona. City have now won 5 of the last 6 EPLs. Call that a dynasty. So here we go. Here's a graph showing it. The lowest that they've come in is second, and that season they lost to Liverpool. Just a great photo. I love this. Jack Grealish on top of the bus after they're celebrating their 3 championships. Usually you do a bus tour after you win the EPL. They waited because they had the FA Cup. They waited because they had the Champions League. So this was a massive celebration. This was the granddaddy of them all. They wanted the Champions League, and they got it. So on top of trying to go for 4th EPL, can they go back-to-back Champions League? For City, they've had some players leave in the summer. Not a crazy amount of key players. The 2 big ones would be Riyad Mahrez, who went to Saudi Arabia, and Ilkay Gündoğan, who is now on Barcelona. Gündoğan was massive for them at the end of the season. He was their club captain, so this is definitely a big loss for them, and they have to try to make this up. They come in. They've had some people end on loan, but the 2 big deals they made in the summer was Mateo Kovacic to come in the midfield to try to shore that up and give some protection, and Josko Gvardiol in the defense from RB Leipzig. So they should come in and really help give depth to this team. Which takes us to number 2. Can any of the big 6 dethrone Manchester City? Dun dun dun. Let's see. It's been a while. First, the team that came in second last season. Can Arsenal contend all season? They overachieved last season. Most people would say that. Obviously, they wanted to win it all. But they're a young, rebuilding team, and they got really good experience. They reassured their squad with a couple key players this offseason, which we'll dive into, which should help them have more depth throughout the season so they won't burn out towards the end of the season. Their roster, their starters played a lot of games continuously. They weren't getting a lot of breaks, and you could tell by the end of the season their defense was giving up goals. Their midfield wasn't running as strong. They weren't scoring as many goals. Jesus did get hurt in the middle of the season, but they were able to overcome that. But overall, the collective team just ran out of steam at the end of the season. The big person who came in to help out with that defense is their center defensive mid, Declan Rice, who came in from West Ham. Biggest deal ever for a British player, £100 million. Woo! So they paid a lot of money, and they're expecting him to come in and help. Same thing as well with Leandro Trossard. He came in middle of the season last season. He stepped up really big to help them out. He should be able to step in again and start or come off the bench as the first player. And Jorginho coming in from Chelsea should help as well. You can see a lot of players out. A lot of them are young players who potentially weren't going to get playing time here, get them some playing time elsewhere. They just announced that Matt Turner, the backup keeper, is going to Nottingham Forest. If you're a US fan, he's your number one. And then Chelsea's rebuild and their Poch. So now we're moving to Chelsea. Pochettino's their new coach. He was the coach at Tottenham. Then he went to Barcelona. Then he went to PSG. And now he's back at Chelsea. They had the fire sale, as you know, last season. They got under new ownership under an American owner, Todd Bowley, and they bought a bunch of young players. Poch is going to come in. He did a great job at Southampton, building that team with young players and making them contenders. Not contenders for the top four, but they were like middle of the tier. Tottenham, he had them around the top four. One season they came in second. So can he do it again with Chelsea? Chelsea's having a lot of players come in, a lot of players go out. The ones going out are older on the team, big wages. They want to bring in young players to build for the future. People going out, you're going to recognize Aubameyang. You're going to recognize Christian Pulisic, Captain America. You're going to recognize Mason Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and N'Golo Kanté, World Cup winner. Coming in, a lot of young players who you would expect to hopefully be able to be successful moving forward. Liverpool. Last season was a down season for them. They had a lot of injuries, and they just did not perform the way you thought. They were leaking in the back more than they've ever been, especially with Van Dijk in the back. So can they get back to their winning ways and get back in the Champions League? You know Salah's going to perform. He always does. Darwin performed well until he got hurt. Can he step up, and can some of the youngsters like Elliott, who were playing last season, step up as well? They haven't needed to do a lot of in and outs. The big one, Cody Gakpo came in middle of last season, and then Alexis McAllister came in the summer to shore up that midfield. A lot of people out. Again, a lot of youngsters and a couple people such as Henderson and Fabinho who are going to Saudi Arabia. Man U, can they contend? Can they get back to the mountaintop? They're always around that top four, but never been able to really solidify a title chase. Is this year two, and they're Ten Hag. The big person coming in is Rasmus Højlund from Atalanta, youngster 20 striker, supposed to be the future, but he's not going to be ready to start and provide, so who's going to make that up? In the back, opposite side, De Gea they let walk, so they brought in Andre Onana from Inter Milan. So those are your big two signings coming in. Mason Mount is a close third to try to shore up the striking attack. Leaving, we already talked about De Gea, and then a couple other of the youngsters leaving as well, who they're trying to get out and get some experience. And then lastly, the big six, Tottenham. Is this a rebuild or a retool? Well, the big thing for them is Harry Kane going to come or is Harry Kane going to go? And Kane is gone. See you later. He's going to Germany, Bayern Munich. It's official as we were creating this. Good for him to try to go somewhere else, see if he can win titles and trophies he hasn't done at Tottenham. He was about 40 goals away from breaking the EPL all-time scoring record, so he's giving up individual glory to try to chase team glory. They also have a new coach in Ange Postecoglou. Excuse me if I said the name wrong. He is Australian. It's his first time coaching the EPL. He's coming over from Celtic where he had success, so he's going to try to impart a very high-style pace for Tottenham. They had a lot of players come in. He's trying to build his team up with the players that he wants to play his style. James Maddison from Leicester is a very good pickup. He was going to get promoted down with Leicester, but staying here. And a couple players going out. Again, the biggest one going out, not here yet, would be Harry Kane. So that takes us to number 3. Who will fight for European spots? If we look at last year's standings, again, this is Liverpool and Brighton in the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League is going to be Aston Villa. So you would expect Brighton, Aston Villa to be there again. However, now that they have to play midweek games, they have to play European games, do they have the depth in the squad to be able to do it? They may not be able to, so they may actually fall down in EPL and as they chase European glory. Brentford was a nice surprise last season, so was Fulham. You expect them to be able to be better this season with more experience. You don't expect Chelsea to be in 12th place, so they should be competing up there in the top 6 area, ideally, but maybe they're not. Everton historically has been a better team, but they have not been good lately. So are they going to overperform? And West Ham historically is around that mid-table, and they have not been. So those are probably the teams to be on the lookout for who could perform better. Is Newcastle, now that they're in Champions League, are they going to be able to perform playing multiple times a week? Or are they going to drop down? So there's a good chance that this will not be the same standings next season. Never is, but there could be some new teams coming up, as they always do, fighting for European glory. Then who will be in the relegation battle? Well, let's look at the championship. Who came up from last season? The championship, the top 2 make it up, which is Burnley and Sheffield United. And then 3 play 6 and 4 play 5 in a playoff. And the winner of those 2 games play in a 1-game playoff. And the winner of that game gets to go on. Luton Town won an incredible penalty kick shootout to be able to move up. So Luton Town, Sheffield United, and Burnley are coming up. Usually you would expect them to be in the relegation battle again. So if we dive back, it would be them 3. Everton's been there the past couple seasons, so they probably will be if they do not perform better, of course. Bournemouth was there for a lot of last season, till the end of last season. They were able to get a winning streak and come out of it. West Ham was around there last season, so was Wolves. So those are probably the teams you expect to be down there moving forward for relegation. Burnley is back, as we said, Kompany's the head coach. First season they were down, they were able to get back up, which is great for them. Same with Sheffield United. They were up for 2 seasons. They went back down. Now they're back up. And Luton Town's back in the EPL after 31 years. One more time. 31 years. Congratulations to them, the city, the organization. And this is the stadium they play in. They're trying to rebuild it or build a new one in the next couple of years. But you can see this is an old town stadium built in the middle of a village. People have to go through the neighborhoods to get into the stadium. So seeing this on match day will be wild. This could be rocking. It'll be loud and it'll be fun. Finally, number 5, EPL changes. What is coming down the block that you should be prepared for? The biggest thing is more stoppage time. You saw this in the World Cup where they added on 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes of stoppage time at each half because they want to make sure they're using the most play possible. The EPL did a study last season between their leagues, and there was only an average of 50 minutes a game. One more time, 50 minutes a game when the ball was in play, meaning the ball was active and play was happening. The other times, goal kick, somebody was injured, ball went out of bounds, etc., 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 stoppage of play. So they're adding that time at the end of the first half and second half, so that way we really get bang for the buck and you're playing the full time. We saw in the Community Shield, they added 8 minutes, and Arsenal scored against City when City was up 1-0. Arsenal scored in the 98th minute. And they tied the game and won the penalty kicks to win the Community Shield last week. We have that video up here, so go take a look at it. It's on this channel. But the thing is, that doesn't happen if they don't have more stoppage time. They don't get to that point. So we already saw the effects of that. They're going to be giving a yellow card for time wasting. Sometimes it happened when the goalie did it, but now if it's noticeable that a player is wasting time, you're getting a yellow card. I like this one coming up, number 3. Teams are going to be punished for surrounding the ref. It's not identified quite yet what's going to be the punishment, but the organization, the team will get in trouble. I like this a lot. You see a foul happen, or you see a no call, and everyone goes around the ref. Oh my God. I don't like that. Come on. Let the ref do his job or her job and just play the game. So this is good they're doing this. Also, you can't touch the ref, as you see this player right here is doing. Varane automatically will get a yellow. So good to support the ref in this scenario. I like this one a lot. Players who put up an imaginary card will get a card. You see players on the ground, or you see players come up to the referee and say, hey, yellow card for that foul, red card for that foul, for that move. Now, if they're doing that and they're putting up the fake card, they will get a card. I think that's good. Just let the ref do the job. Other changes to be aware of. Coaches have to stay in the technical area. They'll get a yellow card, just making sure they're aware. VR audio presentation. So after the game, we should be able to hear how the VR went, not during the game yet. No semi-automated offsides quite yet. This is seen in the World Cup, but it's not in the EPL yet. And if someone's hurt, concussion protocol means they can't play for 7 days. Usually they've been able to come back in the game potentially or the next game, so they're making that more stringent, which is good as well. That is your English Premier League preview, your 5 biggest storylines. Tell me your thoughts. Who do you think is going to win? Give me your predictions. Who do you think is going to be relegated? Any history breakers? Haaland had 36 goals last season. Is he getting 40 this season? So many storylines to go through. Can't wait for the games to start. You know that you subscribe here. We'll give you match day recaps all season. We also got stuff coming around the Bundesliga, Italian League, Spanish League, and so much more, and other sports stories. So go ahead and subscribe to Football Roundup and Randy Silver TV. Thank you so much. Enjoy the games, y'all. We'll see you when they're over. Bye.